Out of all of the things that I've learned in the martial arts as a child to this present date, the greatest gift that I was ever given was that of discipline and having respect for oneself and for others. The overall word that encapsulates those that I just mentioned is being humble, or humility. I learned this as a child, and most of my associates and contemporaries around that time were taught the same. But in today's climate, as it relates to martial arts, and specifically when we watch the UFC and the Pride fights and any similar events, is that many of these guys don't even know what discipline is. They can get out and train discipline in that respect. They can train hard, run and exercise and condition, getting ready for a fight, but they missed the point. And that particular point is that of, where's your humility at? Why are you not humble? Do you not even know what it is to be humble? Many people can go in there, excuse my expression, fake the funk. They can bow when they walk into the ring, but the results of the fight will more than likely always tell you about the person, especially if they're on the receiving end, or if they lose, and oftentimes if they win. Well, here recently I watched the Connor McGregor and Khabib fight about a week or so ago, and I was not pleased with not just the fact that there was a small brawl or little fight at the end of it between the two sides. For whatever reason, I don't care, that was distasteful in and of itself, but the fact that Connor McGregor is so full of himself, and Khabib was too, on some level. But I'm speaking of UFC people, period, and those types have nothing against the sport itself. What I have a problem with is people who don't know what martial arts etiquette is and how to properly present themselves when they are not only in front of the general public, but in front of the world, and even small children, new prospects who want to potentially learn martial arts. They're not setting good examples at all, especially when some people lose a fight. They're angry, they want to fight, and it shows on their face expressions, and then they talk about it either during that particular session or afterwards, and it says a lot about them, and it says little about them as well. Now, in this Khabib McGregor fight, it was a fairly decent competition. However, before it began, there was a whole lot of ranting and going on about who was going to beat who. And then when McGregor gets into the ring, I understand having a fan base, you know, people that look up to you and so forth. But with that statement that I just made, people that look up to you, what are they really looking up to? Because when you get into the ring and you stick your chest out and you're looking around as if you are a god, there's only one God, and it's not you. Something's wrong with that picture. That shows a distaste in most honorable people's minds. As a martial artist, regardless of what your discipline is, Connor or anyone, when you step on that platform or in that ring or on that mat, you come in there, you can raise your hands and what have you, and thank your fans that are applauding you and so forth. You bow, you come in with respect, and you leave in the same manner. All of that, I'm the best and I'm going to kick so-and-so's ass, and all of this, that has no place in martial arts. Never has, and it never should. That's really it. So what's going on with all of these people? What I found, that oftentimes you got guys that participate in these types of fights that have never spent years under a real instructor, a traditional instructor maybe, and they never really got these lessons on humility. Sometimes you have instructors that try to be the friends of their students, and they hang out in the bar and things like that together. That's not a good instructor at all. I don't know how it was with Connor McGregor, but he's the end result, and he's not looking too good on the humility side of things. So if it were me and I walked into any arena and I'm representing whatever my discipline is, my martial arts style or system, I'm going to come in with respect. I'm going to bow according to how my system is, Kung Fu or traditional karate or whatever. I'm going to shake the hand and maybe hug the individual before the match even begins. That's me. And when it's over, if he loses, I'm going to do the same or attempt to do the same, depending on how he responds to his loss. Now, if I lose, I'm going to do the same or attempt to do the same and say, great fight, you're a great competitor and so forth, and it's over. That's it. That's how Connor should always behave in the ring, and not just him, but anyone that fights in the UFC or mixed martial arts and so forth. A lot of these guys don't have that much time in the martial arts. A lot of these guys are off the street, have limited time in traditional martial arts, and they get together with other people who study some other form or discipline in martial arts, and then they just put everything together and they train hard physically and for endurance and stamina and conditioning and so forth, and then they are what they are when they step in the ring. Kimbo Slice was an example of that. But anyway, God rest his soul. But again, before I conclude, I say this again, and I cannot be any more emphatic than this. If you say that you represent the thing that we all call martial science and martial arts, then be the part, beginning, throughout, until the end. Don't go in there faking the funk, pretending that you represent what we all know is honorable and respectful and dignified as martial arts. And don't go in there and bastardize it and make it seem like just simply a brawl and that it's all about you. It's never about you. It never should be about you. The only thing about you is that you are the one participating on that particular day. That's it. If you win or lose, there should always be a lesson to be learned. And we can't always win. And when we do lose, we have to learn how to be a respectful, dignified, and honorable loser. And actually, when we learn how to do it with humility, losing that is, we actually have really won. This is Brother Teacher. What do you think?